Okay. It's fucking hot. Alright. So I had a free minute. I have a free minute. I've got like an hour and 30 minutes before I have to go to work. There's no one in the house, so when I'm making this I don't sound crazy. But yeah. Episode... What am I fucking talking about? This is just the Thenoisemachine Origins video that I promised on Instagram. And my microphone is clipping. Hang on. Damn. Do I really talk that loud? Alright. Alright, so this is going to be a stream of consciousness thing because I hate editing. So yeah, how did this all begin? How did we go from, I don't know, how did we get here? Well, it all starts... How far back should we go? Well, I'll give you like the rundown of my history with music. So, when I lived in France in 2006 or something like that, I heard a CD with like a bunch of like, it was a classic FM CD with like a bunch of famous movie soundtracks, film and TV soundtracks on it. And I remember, I remember distinctly hearing the Doctor Who theme on there, which might have been like the first bit of electronic music that I remember hearing, but I thought that was pretty cool. But that wasn't what started the electronic music thing. From that, I got it into my head that it'd be really cool if I played the violin. So when I moved back to England in like 2008 or 9, I started taking violin lessons at my school. I also started to learn the piano, and then like in 2009 or something I joined a choir, in like a proper, not like a fucking, we're not talking about like a school choir or like a local choir. We're talking about like in a fucking prestigious college with people who are going to be world leaders someday, singing for them, in a chapel, in like a Catholic chapel, which is that's probably one of the best things I ever did, actually. I mean, I hated it at the time, but thinking back on it, I'm like, I miss that sound, I miss the organ, I miss the, because a chapel, cathedrals, churches, they're all just massive reverb rooms, made to make everything sound huge. So you've got a full chapel with like 800 people in it. 800? I don't know. I can't remember. Everything seems bigger when you're small, But let's call it 600. There's like 600 people in here. Everyone's singing at the top of their lungs. Bloody they're singing Jerusalem at the top of their lungs with a bloody massive organ on the side there. It's like, there's something magical about that. Anyway. So that's the precursor. That's like before I knew about electronic music, and for ages I just like, classical music was just everything. Like all I did was, well, I didn't practice nearly as much as I should have, but I was doing that. And I think when I was about 12 or 13 years old, I started like learning how to like compose my own songs with the piano, which I don't think there's any surviving copies of that manuscript paper anywhere, but it was probably shit. Anyway, so in 2012 I get a new phone. I get a phone because I'm at school. I'm at big boy school now, and sometimes I might need to call my parents, which I never ended up doing. Actually, no, I did that once, but that stop getting distracted. So this new phone has internal storage, and my brother graciously blesses the phone with a bunch of music that he was listening to at the time, which is all like indie stuff, like alternative electronic stuff at the time. You know, we're not talking about, you know, we're talking about 2012 electronic music. You know, it had like Pogo on it, and it had Bad Bad Not Good, and you know, that kind of stuff. But on that, among those songs, there were two songs in particular that really, like, made me go, whoa, what's that? And those two songs were Ghosts and Stuff, the original one, and Raise Your Weapons by Deadmau5. And I was like, wow, what is this? Because bear in mind, at this point, like, you know, my musical knowledge is like nothing. Like, all I know is like what my dad plays in the car, and you know, the stuff I hear on the radio. That's like all I know. And I hate pop. I already hate pop music at this point, because I hate normies. Look, that's a different video. But let's just say that when I was 12, 13 years old, I wasn't a big fan of the popular kids. So yeah, I heard those two songs, and from 2012 through to 2013, all I listened to was Deadmau5, and I'm not kidding. I got all of his albums, everything from like circa 1998 when he was called Halcyon something, before he was even called Deadmau5, all the way to like whatever came out in 2012, like fucking album title goes here, I think it was. No, that's the 2008 one. Whatever, names don't matter. But I was predominantly, that was all I was listening to for like the whole. And to be fair, if you know Deadmau5, there's like the genres, you know, there's a lot of stuff. He's done pretty much every electronic music genre that you could think of, and it's all pretty good. So, and I was like, you know what? I want to be like this guy. I want to be a fucking famous DJ, wearing a mask, going around, and everyone loves you, and you're famous, and you're rich. You don't have to go to school anymore. So that became my dream, and I begged my dad to get me a laptop and a copy of some music software. I don't think I said specifically what it should have been, but you know, he pulled through. He got me a crappy second-hand laptop and a copy of Reason 5, borrowed, of course. You know, borrowed. And that's the beginning of the learning curve phase. You know, it took well, the stuff I was coming out with for the first 3 years was dog shit. Like, it was the worst. It's some of the worst stuff that I'm embarrassed. I actually found the .wavs, the bounced files of those songs in an old hard drive, and oh my god, man, they were so bad. It was so awful. Like, I cringed. I don't cringe normally, but that one made me cringe to my bones, man. It made my fucking bones break. I was cringing so hard. Anyway, I improved, right? Well, anyway, so yeah, basically I spent about 30 minutes to an hour every single day between 2012 and now practicing. I discovered conveniently, there's a YouTube channel called Boy in a Band, and conveniently they made music tutorials for electronic music, the stuff I wanted to make, in Reason 5. So, you know, that was that was a stroke of luck, wasn't it? That I found that. So I started. So I was practicing. I was doing yada yada yada, making cringeworthy crap right up until like 2015, and then I made one. What the hell is that song called? I made a song that I was really proud of at the time. Actually, two songs that I was really proud of at the time. The first one was 2015 AD, which I managed to, because Reason 5 doesn't have sampling. Like, you can't drag and drop shit in into the timeline. You have to actually pull up the sampler. You have to pull up the sampler instrument in Reason, and then put the sample in that, and then you have to treat it like that, which is a pain in the ass. But you know, in the song 2015 AD, I managed to get that right, and I was really chuffed about that, and it sounded pretty good, I thought, and you know, it hasn't aged that badly. And then there was another song called, I can't remember what it's called, but I remember programming a really nice drum break, or a fill, whatever you call it, and you know, I was chuffed with that as well. And I think it started really, like, stuff started to click in my head on how music production worked, like what compressors were for and how they worked and where you should use them and all that, you know, that kind of stuff. And I really started to understand the importance of it, and understand how to use it as well. And that was around 2015, and then in 2016, that was when I made Technicolor Image, which was the beginning of my music actually sounding decent. Between that time, I went through a name change. I have no idea what I was calling myself when I started. But I made my SoundCloud pretty much as soon as I started making tunes in 2013. And yeah, I was called Max Step with a 5 instead of an S, Max 5 Tep. Until I think I was called that until like 2015. I think, like, early 2015, and then I changed my name to Thenoisemachine, no spaces. I have absolutely no idea what, like, why the Noise Machine. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know where that name came from. I guess maybe I thought it was like steampunky or something. I don't know. Maybe a tongue-in-cheek thing, like I'm making noise. Like, it's not music, it's just noise, and I'm a machine, I'm not a human being, I'm just churning out crap. Maybe that's what I thought. But yeah, at some point between 2014 and 2016, music stopped being about getting people to like me and becoming rich and famous, and it started being more like a therapeutic thing, because around that time I started to suffer from pretty bad depression, which I still am, and I've probably mentioned that before. But yeah, it was rough. Still is rough, but it, you know, as a kid it's kind of, no, I don't know, can't really compare. But yeah, music is basically just therapy for me now. So I've definitely calmed down a lot since I first started. But it's all, it's like I don't really have a good I'm not much of a people person. I mean, that's just me saying that. I seem to be able to make friends and pretty easily, and people don't, you know, people don't have bad things to say about me usually. But it's like I don't know, there are things that like don't click in my head when it comes to like social stuff, which makes it difficult for me to actually, you know, connect to people, and I come across as a bit of a weirdo sometimes. But you know, I guess music is my way of reaching out to you guys. It's my way of reaching out to you, my heart to yours, my soul to yours, because words fail me, and I don't mean that as like a saying. I mean actually words fail me. Like, you know, I seem pretty fluid here. He says as he stutters. I seem pretty fluid here, but you know, I'm not talking to someone. I'm talking to a camera. I'm talking to a webcam perched on top of a speaker. But you know, what was I even saying? Yeah. Basically, like, you know, for me, music is less about, I mean, it's not something that I particularly want to do, I guess. Like, it's not, it's just a hobby of mine now, I guess. But it's not like something I could ever drop, I don't think. It's like, I have to do this. I have to make tunes. I have to do it. I don't have a choice in the matter. It's like it's like Ice King in Adventure Time, when he's talking about how his dreams are get beamed down into his head through lasers or something. That's how it feels. Like I don't have control over, you know, when I need to or don't need to make stuff. It's like it's not even a feeling exactly. I just, you know, I sit down, I open Reason, and sometimes something happens and sometimes it doesn't happen. But you know, I'm never not sitting down and opening Reason, if you know what I mean. And I suppose it's, I don't know. I'm no psychologist. I'm no bloody. I have my theories, but they're all bloody kooky and they don't make any sense because I'm not a scientist. But now all that really matters is that things sound good, and that people, and if people like them, then that's also good. In fact, that's better. If I like it, that's okay, and if you like it, that's better. And I do very much love seeing comments on my stuff, saying how much they like it. It's like, you know, I'm glad that you like it. And I never used to reply to comments because I thought I was too cool for that, and because none of the other popular dudes do it, so why should I? But it's like, you know, now I do, because I really do appreciate any feedback at all. I do appreciate it, because it feels like, you know, when you put stuff out onto the internet, a lot of the time it feels like you're just throwing a stone into a huge pond. It's kind of like fishing, actually. You know, you're casting your line out there, and you don't know if you're touching anyone. You don't know if your message, your heart is connecting to anyone else. And when it does, it feels really good. Yep. I think on that note, I'll end it. On that positive note. It's been a ride. It's been a while. Hopefully I made sense, because I'm not editing this shit. I'm just gonna upload it. But yeah, thank you for watching my 20-minute video. Keep an eye out for new tunes. And yeah, stay safe, be happy, peace.